मॉरल लर्नर्स पेश करते हैं द मुरब्बी सीरीज। इस हफ्ते मुलाकात कीजिए जोहानिसबर्ग मुस्लिम स्कूल के चेयरमैन, जमियतुल उलमा साउथ अफ्रीका के सेक्रेटरी जनरल और नेशनल रिलीजियस लीडर्स काउंसिल साउथ अफ्रीका, मुस्लिम एड्स प्रोग्राम और यूनाइटेड उलमा काउंसिल ऑफ साउथ अफ्रीका के एग्जीक्यूटिव मेंबर मौलाना इब्राहिम भाम से।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah, we are again of Murabbis, and we are meeting always. We meet with the eminent scholars of the Muslim Ummah who work in mentorship, who work in education, who work in research and development, and holistic development to Ummah in different fields. And today also we are going to meet the same sort of one of the eminent scholars, Maulana Ebrahim Bham. As you heard in introduction, that he is the chairman of Johannesburg Muslim School, Secretary General, Jamiat Ulama South Africa, executive member at National Religious Leaders Council South Africa, Muslim AIDS Program, and United Ulama Council of South Africa. MashaAllah, he has a vast experience in education, especially community works and multi-diversified fields. So, inshallah, we will try to learn from him his experiences, and also we will try to sort out the answers of some of our queries, which normally we ask such type of mentors, that what they have roadmap or the framework of ground realities which Ummah is facing right now. So, Jazakumullahu Asal al Jaza, Maulana Ibrahim Bham. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We might have some problems, Maulana Ibrahim Bham, and because we are facing some issues in this Murabbi series. This is the only challenge which we are facing nowadays, that internet issues sometime in our side, sometime from the sides of the visitors or the scholars who are coming, and this is a challenge always. The strength of this telecommunication is that you can meet 1,000 miles away with the people who are sitting 1,000 miles away, but there's a challenge is that sometimes you arrange everything, but technology become a challenge for you. So we hope, inshallah, we will be connect soon. So Allah make easy, and we will see that how we can go with this Maulana Ibrahim Bham Sahab, because in South Africa, as you all know, that this South Africa has a multi-diversified society, but the, although they are not in majority, but the Muslim of South Africa, they worked, mashallah, great work they have done in for community works, for education, for health, for awqaf, for waqf. A lot of work been done with them, and like for example, the work which they have done in Jamiat also, it is classical which they have done the work. So I'll try to. We are trying, keep trying that Maulana Ibrahim Bham, if we can get him.
Assalam Alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Sorry, Maulana. How are you?
Sorry.
No worries.
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Fine. Alhamdulillah. Nice to see you, mashallah. I just introduced yourself, and now we can go directly the program, inshallah. So, uh, can I start the questions? We have.
Yes, sure. I do
Okay, fine.
apologize for being late to join in. There was some technical difficulties, but inshallah, I hope that we will have a beneficial program. Assalamu alaikum to you and assalamu alaikum to all our listeners.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So now, Maulana, the very first question is that, mashallah, this your Jamiat, that how you will define that what is the one thing that makes this Jamiat, mashallah, productive community, productive tool for a community. What do you think? And how do you feel that such type of organizations are necessary for Muslim Ummah or community?
Jazakallah for that question. The first thing I would like to say, that Jamiatul Ulama South Africa, amazingly, is one of, if not the oldest Muslim organization in South Africa. It was established way back in 1923. In fact, we are making arrangements to prepare ourselves for our centenary in 1923. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the opportunity, and may Allah ta'ala take work from us as He had accepted from the founder members of the Jamiatul Ulama South Africa. Now, there's been various phases of the Jamiatul Ulama in terms of the activities. And it will be difficult to, in the short time, to throw light on all the activities of the Jamiat. However, what I would like to perhaps say is that amongst its various activities, the one activity that perhaps stands out head and shoulder amongst all the other activities was in 1964, the Jamiatul Ulama South Africa, there were many, what the Muslim community in South Africa, wherever they went into various small regions, small cities and towns. So the first thing our founder community and pioneers did was to set up a masjid and a small madrasa, which we know as the maktab, for the primary Islamic education of the children. So every small community had that. But in 1964, the Jamiat coordinated and did a joint syllabus with regard to those primary madrasas and maktabs. And today, that syllabus, which is known as a Tasheel series, and maybe not so much the series, but more than the series, the concept that after school, Muslim children go to a primary madrasa or maktab for 2.5 hours, sometimes 1 hour on a daily basis to learn the primary fundamentals of their religion. Now, that is something that the Jamiatul Ulama South Africa introduced, and not only has it become part and parcel of South African society, but many minority Muslims in various other parts, whether it be United Kingdom, whether it be in Canada, whether it be in America, etc., West Indies, the Caribbean, have established that as a means. And I think that is something that we would like to perhaps hope that inshallah Allah Ta'ala will accept that effort from our founder members and the present ulama of the Jamiatul Ulama.
MashaAllah. And yes, we have used, and I saw in Australia also the same, MashaAllah. And because I taught this series, so I know that how beneficial. Do you have intention that any revised version of this series, or you have any committee to work on this revisions of or anything which you can, like for example, you can indulge in this new activities or any sort of a books, any curriculum revision committee do you have with you?
Yes, we are at the moment busy revising. In fact, the history of the way we've got it as class 7 and 8 is presently under print. as we speak. So there is a revision committee. We are aware that there is a
MashaAllah.
need for us to revise it, and perhaps it should have been done a little bit earlier, but at the present moment, there is efforts being made to revise the syllabus.
MashaAllah. And Maulana, you are a chairman also of Johannesburg Muslim School. So what is the one thing that makes Johannesburg Muslim School shine? One of the salient features of Johannesburg Muslim School?
Yes, we started our Johannesburg Muslim School in the early 90s.
Any salient features?
Yes, I will make mention of that, inshallah. Johannesburg Muslim School started off in 1990, and I must say that it is still work in progress. We have done well in the sense that one fortunately or unfortunately, one of the criteria to judge a school in South Africa in particular, I'm not sure how it is in other parts of the world, is to see what we call the matric results. So according to that results, children get access, and they are entered into the university level. The biggest university in our region is the Witwatersrand University, the Wits University. And in this particular regard, our results in matric has been excellent, 100% pass rate throughout our whole, while we have been in existence, we've always had 100% pass rate. And the University of Witwatersrand regards the Johannesburg Muslim School as one of the best feeder schools into its university. So in that regard, alhamdulillah, we have done well. I am fully aware that one of the great objectives of a proper Islamic and a Muslim school and the Islamic educational system is not only the academic results, but it is the tarbiyah, it is the upbringing of the Muslim student and child. And this is something that I can't say that we have been 100%, it's work in progress, but I think each and every educational institute, whether it be a Darul Uloom, whether it be a Muslim school, whether it be a madrasa, has to pay more attention towards this aspect of education, which is the tarbiyah. And alhamdulillah, it's good for me to say that while I'm in the Murabbi session of a program.
Do you have in your mind or in progress or any live framework of tarbiyah available in a current school systems that we can use at least because you people are the pioneers in Islamic school all over the world. People always see to you that whatever you will do, and because you are getting the ajr of whole Ummah Islamic schools, and whatever Islamic schools, they are following you. Sunnatan hasanatan falahu ajruha wa ajru man amila biha.
Jazakallah for that compliment. I think Muslim schools have gone a long way in South Africa, but I think we need to re-look ourselves, introspect at ourselves. I think, we had a good session and few webinars and few, workshops, etc., and few conferences to re-look at ourselves because we have established ourselves. But I think we need to go one step further. And I will go on to make mention, I don't know whether now is the right time. I'll just give you an example. Like, JMS, for example, the Johannesburg Muslim School, navigated the uncharted terrain of COVID-19 in quite a good way. Due to the lockdown restrictions, learners were not allowed to attend school on site. So Johannesburg Muslim School established a fully fledged online school that afforded our learners a seamless transition to online learning by the time schools were allowed to resume on-site learning. And of course, we focused on the LIRN approach. Live classes, interaction with learners, recorded lessons and notes to assist learners. And in over 100 days of lockdown, the Johannesburg Muslim School had 900 online users, over 300 active classes, 17,500 posts, 3,600 live sessions, and over 60,000 notes. Now, you see, this is one aspect. The point with regard to tarbiyah is that and I don't know, maybe now is the right time, or maybe as we go along, when we look at education is not only merely the transmission of information, which alhamdulillah people do, but together with the transmission of information, it is also a very amazing thing. I mean, if you look at the Quran, Allah Ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Now, you will not get a better definition of the ulama than what the Quran has said. And Allah Ta'ala says, the ulama are those who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, we will have an alim or a learned person is a person who's got a PhD or who's got an MA. But Allah Ta'ala says, the ulama are those who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, how do we get in our institution, in our Islamic schools, the situation of academic excellence, but yet that particular aspect of إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ, the ulama are those who fear Allah Ta'ala. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu used to say, مَنْ لَمْ يَخْشَى لِلَّهِ, whoever does not fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is not an alim. So I can give many examples with regard to that. You might get a PhD who if been asked, do you recognize your creator? And he says no. And you ask and you say, can that person be in a true Islamic sense be regarded as an educational person? Someone has coined the phrase, he's an informed illiterate. He has information, but he doesn't recognize his creator. So in our educational institutes, we need to get the balance between academic excellence and this aspect of fearing Allah Ta'ala, being muttaqi while having academic excellence.
But the thing is that we do agree that this is the need of the era, that we have to work on this tarbiyah aspect and holistic development, being a human being, being a good Muslim ummati. But the challenge which we are facing, Maulana, it was especially after 2000 and especially last 5-6 years when this media is coming and all these things are coming, and some of our mentors are right now also they are listening us. Like what we face challenge, for example, just 3 years ago, we used to say that we always give advice to parents that please don't give mobiles to your kids' hands. Please keep away mobiles from your things. Keep away. This is a double-edged sword, and this is a slow poison. And please, your parenting, this is a major responsibility being a parent, that you have to focus, you have to keep eye what they are seeing, what they are using. And now we are advising them, please bring one mobile for them, please bring one laptop for them, please give them mobile, they have to attend the class. Facing right now the paradigm shifting, and this paradigm shifting has a strength also, yes, but there's a challenge also. You know how you can be online tarbiyah. In fact, I don't know in your Johannesburg Islamic school how you managed, but the most of our Islamic schools in our country, we couldn't manage tarbiyah classes because tarbiyah is one-to-one on-site. Sohbat in tarbiyah, the most important thing is sohbah. It's nothing else. It's not the information. Now, this is the one challenge which we are facing because of this paradigm shifting. But again, the second thing is that how we will put in a subtle manner in a whole ecosystem of a school, this tarbiyah, this mentorship thing, whether you call it mentorship, you call it guide, you call it coaching, you called it counseling, you called it a psychologist, or you call it Murabbi, whatever title you give. Like our title is Murabbi, definitely. But how have you people started like, yes, this is a tarbiyah is a integral feature of our whole curriculum. So how we will do this thing? Do you have any sort SOP, roadmap, curriculum, anything in Johannesburg Muslim School?
See, the one aspect we had said with regard to the point that technology is a double-edged sword. Now, that in itself is very revealing. Double-edged sword means that yes, there are benefits and there is harm. I'm a very firm believer that we have to get. You see, we have this situation, and maybe later on in the program, I would like to speak about the aspect of our parallel systems, where we have secular, and I like to use the word, instead of secular, acquired knowledge. Secular gives the impression of something beyond the metaphysical. Secular gives the impression we don't believe something that we can't see. That is now the technical term. Acquired knowledge means we acquire it via experience, via our teaching.
I think so. We have again some sort of connection problem. We hope, inshallah, we'll be connect again, because very beneficial this discussion is going on, and especially in part that how we can impart this tarbiyah things in our curriculum, in teachers development, students development, all over environment, how we can make it, because this is the challenge which we are facing right now. Human development, this holistic development of a student, that as a human being, as a Khalifatullah fil Arz, as a Ummati, and this challenge we are facing, and also spiritual development, intellectual development, physical development, and also in the fikr which he has in his mind, that as a life, that what is life, and how we have to spend this life as according to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the perspective, in which perspective we have to see this world. So the world view, and this world view is very important. These all things are challenges which we are really facing right now, in whole ummah is facing. Like we were discussing with Maulana also, and he raised the same point, that acquired knowledge is fine, but we are evaluating, till yet we are evaluating our institutions with the results. We are evaluating, we are measuring education with the results, and that is nothing to do with actually education in Islam, in Deen. In Deen, education is something which is making you closer to your title of Khalifatullah fil Arz. Is you are going to more inclined towards Creator. Your fearness with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is increasing. Your taqwa is increasing. Your spirituality is increasing. You are going to close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your vision is going to, the clarity is coming in your actual vision of life, the worldview of life. Now, such type of development, that is really need of the era, which we have to learn from all these scholars who are coming from different world, because they are working. And why I'm more focusing with Maulana on this point, because I feel that South Africa, they are the pioneers. They are the one who started the Islamic schools. Although everybody who came later on, they followed them, and that's very important thing, that we should understand, that really how we can learn from South Africa also, and if we develop, so we can share also. This is also important thing, that we can share also. But they have done a lot. Like, for example, the series of Tasheel, which they are saying Tasheelul Fiqh, Tasheelul Akhlaq, Tasheelul Hadith, Tasheelul Tarikh, and huge series from grade 1 till grade 10, and mashallah, Tasheelul Fiqh, and it's actually designed for maktabs, but people are using in Islamic schools also, although it's not designed as per school. It's for design for maktab, after school classes in mosques, in community centers, where after school classes were going on. And that is one of the earliest, in 60s, they developed this curriculum in 60s. And the mashallah, very strong, established system of makatib, just due to this one, that alhamdulillah, we are facing this thing in Pakistan right now, that alhamdulillah, although the maktabs are coming, but our makatibs are not as per standards. So we also need such type of organization in Pakistan who can coordinate these type of matters?
I hope I'm back again. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened with the connection.
No problem. Start on. Have you heard my question?
No, just repeat the question. I was
Have you heard
I was off air for some time. I hope I'll be back again, inshallah.
Yeah, but we were just thinking that about we were discussing about these challenges, and you discussed that all these things. You were discussing about the acquired knowledge and the Islamic knowledge, the parallel system you were discussing about.
Yeah, you see that the point I was making, that we have acquired knowledge and we have divine knowledge. Divine knowledge comes from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which of course cannot be changed. There will be different interpretations according to the ulama. Acquired knowledge, we get it through the means of experience or through the means of our ulama, through the means of our teachers. And we have to find the right balance between both of these. The one thing that, and I think in our introduction, I made mention that one of the questions that will be, how do we get the cooperation between the two? I don't know whether I should just go into it in some details. Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli Muslim, right? The acquiring of religion is farz on every Muslim. The one question, I got a PhD in medical science. Have I fulfilled what the Quran and the Hadith says, talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli Muslim? Well, not necessarily so. The reason is, our ulama tell us, for every farz and compulsory action in religion comes a commensurate responsibility of knowing how to fulfill that religious obligation. Salat is farz. It's farz for you to know every aspect of salat. Hajj is farz, every aspect of hajj. You are supposed to know at least the basic, maybe not going into the nitty-gritties. To earn halal rizq is farz. So in a similar manner, you are supposed to know at least the basic aspects of what is halal rizq. So that is now farz. Does it mean that acquired knowledge or secular knowledge, is it haram? Is it prohibited? Not necessarily. None other than Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi had said any branch of knowledge which is indispensable for the welfare of mankind. This is very interesting. In his Ihya al-Ulum, Imam Ghazali says, any branch of knowledge which is indispensable for the welfare of mankind, that knowledge is farz kifaya for the Muslim ummah to acquire it. And then he goes on to say, katibbi wal hisab, like medicine and hisab. So one is farz, which is compulsory upon each and every human being, and one is the farz kifaya for the Muslim ummah to acquire that knowledge which is indispensable for its welfare. Now, unfortunately, we have to say that we as the Muslim ummah have left behind in this particular regard. We have not kept up. We were the pioneers. We were the ones who were making the decisions. We were the ones that were providing the type of technology. We were the ones that were giving people the benefits. I will just give you one example. Ibn Nafis is the first person to do a recording of the pulmonary circulation of blood in the human body. Something that has been incorrectly referred to William Harvey 300 years later. When I look at all this vaccination type of debates that are going on within our ummah, the one thing that I find, I'm not saying the right and wrong, I'm not going to, that is a completely different debate. But the one thing I find, we are only critiquing. We are not part of the solution. We are the only ones saying it's not right, or it's like this, or it's this conspiracy theory, or that, whatever it is. We are not amongst those who are providing solutions. So the point is, what is farz? Farz is that which Allah has made compulsory upon you to know what it is. Farz kifaya, according to Imam Ghazali, anything which is beneficial for the welfare of mankind, it is the responsibility, the collective responsibility of the ummah to know it. And whether we are doing that is, I'm not very sure. How do we get the right balance between the farz kifaya and the individual farz? How do we get the right balance between divine knowledge and acquired knowledge? My understanding of getting the right balance is divine knowledge provides the framework. Within this framework, you are supposed to acquire the knowledge. But after that, you go out. Allah Ta'ala says, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. Allah has created the earth for you. Maulana Hassan Nabi Rahmatullah alayhi goes on to say that one of the harms of the Muslim Ummah lagging behind in this is that if we had all been in the forefront of technology, we could have used our divine knowledge to be able to progress in that and to be able to use it with the ethical guidelines that our Sharia has given us. So we do have this challenge to how to bring together the amalgamation of our first individual first and the collective first, which I've gone on to make mention, and also how to get the right balance between the divine knowledge which provides a framework and the ethical guidelines. And Allah Ta'ala saying, I have created the earth for you. Go and seek from the earth and bring about things that are beneficial for mankind.
MashaAllah. Maulana, do you think that current Islamic schools model can facilitate or can alive this single education system, singular education system, in which the framework is a divine framework and you acquire a knowledge in the thing of divine framework? Schools can facilitate this thing?
While I was doing reading on this, I was very fascinated with a talk that was given by Mufti Taqi Usmani. And it's something that has become very widespread, that talk. He gave it at I think it was one of the graduation ceremonies of the Hira Foundation, which is established
in my school. Yeah, the same school. Yes.
Now, Mufti Sahib makes mention with regard to the time of after partition, when they were discussing the educational system to be established in Pakistan. He says his father, Mufti Shafi Sahib Rahmatullah alayhi, they looked at various models. Yes, whether it be the Nadwa model or the Aligarh model or the Deoband model or the Darul Uloom model or the Dars-e-Nizami model, and they looked at Qairawan. Now, Qairawan was very interesting because they looked at, in Qairawan, you had the situation of Ibn Khaldun, Qazi Iyaz, Ibn Rushd, in their various expertise. They were teaching students under one roof. Now we have the dichotomy with regard to this whole particular aspect of, this whole aspect of dichotomy of education, where we have people having different sets. And we hope one day, either through the means of a single institute or either through the means of cooperation between the different educational structure, we can cooperate better for the betterment and for the progress of the Muslim Ummah.
So do you think that cooperation also can work like that, even in corporations and different structures, educational structures which we have, like madrasas? One side there's the madrasas, the other side is the government schools, the third side is the private schools, and you have in your area like private schools. We also have in Pakistan, there are certain Islamic private schools, and then the conventional education system private schools. Do you think this cooperation can work? Now, because this is also a challenge, that how we will do the cooperation, coordination, cooperation. You have to have a big heart for this one, to share your knowledge. The again laws, very important discussion is going on, and Maulana Ebrahim Bham is emphasizing, mashallah, the same thing which we are focusing, or we are seeing in our one of the objectives of single national curriculum. The discussions are going on of this SNC, and we hope that InShaAllah we will see one time that such type of institutes or such type of frameworks where religious education and also acquired knowledge, this type, we can integrate, we can coordinate, we can cooperate, and we can decide something, sort of a framework, sort of a learning outcomes, which all stakeholders on board that this is the requirement of Ummah, and we will develop like that. And that is a very important framework which need research. Definitely, it need research, and development is not easy because we till yet what we are doing till yet we are focusing a corrective model. We are just taking some sort of any existing structure, and we are just doing some amendments, Islamic integrations, and then we are using it. Although these Islamic integrations are also in some areas very minor. We don't have material available or research available for integration also, that how, like for example, if we are taking any existing education structure, how we will do screening, because those educational structures are based on the Western education psychology, where the perspective of human being is different, the worldview is different, the meaning of life is different, the creator, the concept of creator is missing, the concept of hereafter, life hereafter missing. On this type of psychology, this is the challenge. Yes, Maulana.
I must apologize. Somehow or the other, on my device, it is just showing that the device from time to time is overheating. I'm not very techno savvy in this particular regard, but I hope, inshallah, we will be able to complete the program now.
So this is what you was mentioning, that do you think that in current future, how these institutions can cooperate? Religious is like madaris, you have in South Africa also madaris, mashallah, and Islamic schools also. How they can cooperation? Which area you need cooperation? In curriculum, in books, in framework? What?
What I would like to say that Mufti Taqi may mention that when his father spoke about having everyone under one roof in one institution, even if we can't get that, immediately because of the dichotomy and people going into different directions, at least we can start having some sort of discourse between the different educational models. I recall Maulana Abul Hassan Nadwi Rahmatullah Ali, one of our greater thinkers in the last several decades, crying out in his talks in various educational institutes, and when he spoke about in UK and USA and all those, that there must be a greater amount of cooperation between the ulama and the professionals. So while maybe one day that will come, the way Kairawan was, maybe one day we will get that. But in the meanwhile, I think there is a crying need of the ummah for different professions to work together for the betterment and for cooperating with one another for the betterment of the Muslim ummah, and to take the Muslim ummah to the next level.
MashaAllah. But Alhamdulillah, very good suggestions, and really, InShaAllah, one day we will see that all these educations under one roof. But Maulana, most important thing which I want to ask, that do you have curriculum or curriculum guidelines available for any acquired knowledge, like for science? Because the problem and issues which we are facing right now for our young generation, they are coming from social sciences. They are coming from science and social sciences. Do we have any Islamic integration guidelines available for these subjects? Have you designed, or you saw in South Africa, you found, or Johannesburg Muslim School have designed sort of any guidelines?
You see, this is a very interesting question, and of course, it requires a lot of a detailed answer compared to the time that I can give. There are certain disciplines that are, perhaps we would say, in a way, are neutral. 2 + 2 is 4. is something that is, I would say, neutral, right? We will understand that, and yet at the same time, there are many other aspects of knowledge which can have a bias. We are all aware with regard to it. One of the objective of science is to understand the grandeur and the greatness of Allah. وَكَأَيٍّ مِّنْ آيَةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ يَمُرُّونَ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ عَنْهَا مُعْرِضُونَ. How much are the signs of Allah that people pass by and they are neglectful about? People never look at these things as, science as a means of coming closer towards Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. MBA, the Master of Business Administration. Many times people who will look at economics will look at it that the entire objective of business is to maximize profit. There is nothing other than maximizing profit as a reason to set up a business. Now, how will you reconcile that with what Nabi Karim said, Rahimallahu abdan idha ba'a sam'a wa idh ishtara wa idh iqtada. May Allah have mercy upon that Muslim businessman who is kind and compassionate when he buys, when he sells, when he demands. The one thing is telling you maximize profits no matter how you do it. The other one is telling you that by being compassionate in business, you become the means of getting the means of getting Jannah. Now, what we have done is we need all of these type of different types of branches of knowledge, but we are dependent to a great deal on what is out in the market, or what is prevalent, or what is trendy. And maybe that is where all the Muslim organizations and the Muslim educational institutes need to say that we need accounting, we need medicines, we need the education of science, but how do we do it in such a way? And of course, in our Model Learners Group in the past 3-4 days, I've been so engrossed with the whole aspect of people saying, how do we get all of these different disciplines while retaining the Islamic aspect, retaining the Islamic ethos? Now, that is part of the challenge, and that is why I'm saying that maybe we as an ummah has lagged behind. We do need it. We have been in the forefront with regard to it. Ibn Shatir was the one who discovered planetary motion. This finding is attributed to Copernicus. Masudi was the father of historical geography. Ibn Battuta traveled 75,000 miles way before Marco Polo became one of the most famed travelers people speak about. And when I look at Ibn Battuta traveling so many miles, I always wonder if he had a loyalty card, how many miles he would have got, how many upgrades he would have got. So we do need both of these things. To be honest, we have seen the lack of it in our societies, in our community, and yet people are saying yes, we need it. But then the other side, that people are also worried about the influences that come with it. Why can't we create our own influence?
Yes, you are 100% right. And now, what do you think that what could be the best way for this cooperation? Like how we can do this cooperation in all this integration things also, and cooperation between madaris and between Islamic schools and different educational structures which we are doing right now. How do you feel that what is the good way?
I think the first thing that I normally always feel that one of the things that they say the enemy is one whose side of the story you haven't heard. The enemy is one whose side of the story you haven't heard. I think the first thing is we need to get rid of our prejudices and get a group of people across the spectrum to be able to discuss matters in an open way. There is no doubt that there is a certain conception or a certain view that people have of one another. Maybe I must say, when I was studying in Pakistan, and this is something very interesting, I hope I would like to make mention of it, that I came to Pakistan at the age of 12. I grew up in Pakistan.
Which year you came? Which year?
I came in 1973. And I traveled extensively in Pakistan. I've been to Murray and Swat and
With the
Kalam
same
and Bahrain and Hangu and
Mahmood
Madras.
Madani and all these.
Hello? You were saying?
So the same time when Mahmood Madani and Yaqub Pandov, they were there.
Yes. No, I had some wonderful experiences in Pakistan. I came at the time when Bhutto was ruling. Then I saw the military takeover. I saw General Ziaulak's rule. I was part and parcel of the famous 1978 Pakistan-India cricket test in Karachi. I saw most of it. Pakistani winning in the penultimate over. I grew up, and one thing I did see when I came to Pakistan, I think 3 years back, compared to the time when we were studying, I've seen that there used to be this very strong dichotomy. This is an alim used to look upon the people of studying in university in a particular way. The university students used to look at ulama in a particular way. So now, 3 years ago, I was absolutely surprised at how much more cooperation there is in the last 3 years when I went compared to what it was in the early 70s. At least now there is a talking, there is a cooperation, there is an aspect of better understanding one another. Maybe we need to revive that, to be able to speak to one another with regard to how do we get the best out of the both disciplines and branches for the betterment of the deen and the betterment of the community and society.
Yes, yeah, this could be the one way, and like you were mentioning, we also have in our mind that we will start doing sort of these type of webinars where we can decide some sort of objective and try to get objective through different eminent scholars of this specific discipline all over the world, and then we get them some guidelines that what could be a framework or guidelines to teach this discipline. For example, teaching a science, teaching a philosophy, teaching accounting. What could be a Muslim perspective teaching accounting? What could be a Muslim perspective? Like, for example, if we are teaching accounting, so like if it is a grade 12 or grade 11, we can use how to calculate zakat, accounting of a zakat, accounting of sort of a thing. So this type of integration, sitting with those people, start doing like for example discussions. These discussions will bring some sort of harmony also, and also cooperation also. This is needed. This is need of the era. Alhamdulillah, in Pakistan it started, but not as it should be, because it's a Muslim country, and our constitutionally we have to follow these all Islamic junctions and all these things. So along with this challenge, the second challenge which we are facing in Islamic schools is I don't know what, like the problems, issues which are coming through media, Western discourses which we are coming through media. How we can overcome in our Islamic schools these type of discourses. I'm not just naming of these ones, but you know better than me, because you are living in such a country where you are facing, when we are facing in Pakistan, living in a Muslim country. So definitely you know how this type of age group, especially from grade 12 onwards, like year 12, if he's a 12 years old boy or 12 years old girl, after that we are really facing a problem that they have in their mind certain questions which they scared to ask from parents or teachers. They're not finding, so they go to the social media, they go to Google, and they go to here and there. How we can do this development? This is intellectual development of this young generation, which we are facing different type of, because batil is coming from the door of tashkik. Batil is creating doubts in a divine framework. It's not saying that you become a.
It's such an important question. I just have in front of me Mufti Taqi Usmani, when we went to the Cambridge Muslim College. He wrote one amazing thing, and I just want to read that. He said that the need of the hour is a middle path of integration within society, which lies between the extremes of isolation and assimilation. Now, one of the things that I'm going to very greatly emphasize is that, today we need a lot of compassion with our students more than ever before.
I think so. We are facing a same problem, connection problem tonight, which we are facing. We really apologize from our viewers, listeners, but a very productive discussion is going on, that how we can overcome such type of challenges which our young generation is facing, and how we can give answers of their questions, their hidden questions, mind-boggling questions in their minds, but they're scared to ask. They have a hesitation to ask, just because of a strong, strict framework. So we really need a compassion of our teachers, that they can do with some. Now, this is another challenge, to develop this compassion, and because next also is coming on your screen, that 22nd January, our Dr. Najeeb Badri bin Zubair, lecturer at International Islamic University, Malaysia, and he had worked a lot on this development sector, Tarbiyah sector. 28 years he has experience. InShaAllah, next Friday we will do this thing, and really we have to work together, whoever is in this field, in Islamic education field. Islamic education, whatever on our part we should do for Ummah, because this is a time where we need to develop our teachers, compassion, empathy, sympathy in teachers. This is
Yes,
important.
so I'm so sorry
Compassion
I'm
in
joining you again after summer break. I think today there were many great ulama who came to South Africa, and I recall Mufti Mahmoud al-Hassan Gangohi, not the one from Mufti Mahmoud from Pakistan, the one who was in Pakistan, in India. And he came many times to South Africa. And one of the things that he said once was that parents in today's society and environment must be like a friend to their children. And there's also a saying of Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, which is attributed to Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that la'ibuhum bisab'in, addibuhum bisab'in, wa khalliluhum bisab'in. Play with your children for 7 years, discipline them between 7 and 14, and befriend them after the age of 14. And that's the age that you have been speaking about, I suppose, after grade 12, etc. I think teachers and parents must cultivate such a relationship with children that they should be the first port of call for children, irrespective of what the children feel. They must be comfortable enough to discuss their doubts, their fears, their apprehension to either the parent or the ustad. If that's not going to happen, then if the first port of call is a friend who might not have the same maturity as a teacher or as a parent, that friend might take him completely off the course. So I think we need to re-look at our relationships between teachers, parents, and our growing children, especially those who are matured after the age of 12, 13, 14. I think we really need to relook at it. I know it's very challenging because it challenges established notions of parenthood and teacher-student relationship. But given the dynamics, we're going to have to do that.
So you think that one of the immediate short-term solution is that our teachers and parents should change their behavior, and they should be a friend rather than like, for example, only teacher or a
Yes,
strict teacher.
I think definitely. Again, I'm seeing something that the phone might overheat again, but yes, I do think that that is one of the things that we need to be doing. If it does, I will come back again after a while.
Yeah, but but the challenge for this one is only how to develop such type of teachers, development of such type, changing a nature of teacher. Like, we have a problem in Pakistan that our Hifz teacher used to say one thing that we learned from stick, and stick is like water, for any crop. You cannot cultivate a crop without
I,
irrigation of a water. So it's like a
I
stick.
was
So
also a teacher, and I concur that we didn't have another way of teaching. That was the only method that we used to teach. But I think if you are going
So Maulana is also coming from the same thing, that he's saying that they also have. I was just thinking and imagining that that is our subcontinent culture, that stick and teacher together. But I was thinking that they only have a carrot, but they also have a stick, and so it means that is a such type of Muslim Ummah universal aspect, that in learning in a harassment environment. Really, that is the challenge, to change, to be a friend, and to be, you come yourself, you make yourself so down that you become a friend of your student or your son. And interestingly, the good thing he said, that Ali radiallahu ta'ala was saying, one of my friends and one of our seniors, Ibrahim Sidal Sahab, is mentioning that Muslim schools and madrasas have the crucial responsibility of guiding youth to find the correct path between assimilation and integration. Yes, I do agree that this is a crucial responsibility, but somehow we are unable to perform this responsibility as its requirements are there. And what I feel, that sometime when we don't have answers, instead of making this excuse that give us time, we will find the answers, we just give them a shut up call, that keep quiet, and this against the etiquettes. And I was just mentioning that Hazrat Ali Karamallah was saying that what Maulana mentioned, that the first 7 years you play with them, and then next 7 years you just teach them etiquette, and then the other 7 years then be a friend with them, and you just friend. And when you
Najeeb,
are a
I'm so
friend, so
sorry.
he can share with you.
I'm back again with you. I do apologize for this tech. I suppose that is what we are talking about, the challenge of technology, the good and the
Yeah,
bad.
this is what it is. This is what we always. This is not, you are not the first one. No problem. Carry on. So this is. I was asking that. I was just saying to my viewers that I was thinking that it's only subcontinent we see that stick and education together. But now I found the Monana is also saying that they also have a stick and education in teaching a Hifz and harassment environment.
No, I think things have changed from what it was. I think there was, I think in the 70s and the early 80s, that perhaps was the way. We didn't have other. I think people have come to realize, maybe in certain instances like South Africa, UK is by the force of law. But I think even in Pakistan, there is a realization. If you are going to go to a private school and there they are teaching with such kindness and compassion, and then you come to an Islamic educational institute, and you get fire and brimstone, then obviously you are going to have a situation where a child is going to grow up with certain um, uh, firm notions in his mind, which is not healthy for the going of in the future of the society. I think, however,
With a
in
revenge
my
nature.
interaction with people, there has been this particular aspect. Again, I'm seeing the whole thing that the device is overheating. If I can't come back, I think I just hope that this would be something that we can look at in terms of how do we change things according to the dynamics of the situation without losing the essence of our teachings.
Yeah, that is important thing. Without losing the essence of our teaching, this is the important thing. So you have in your school any framework of teachers development?
Well, we have the Association of Muslim Schools,
Now, this is
which
another
have
thing, like what Maulana was mentioning, important thing that, yes, Maulana, yes.
we do have the Association
Do
of
you have any
Muslim Schools.
framework in your? Yeah, that is important thing. Inshallah, what we are thinking in a Murabbi platform that next, inshallah, very soon after this one, yeah, the program which is coming, and Badri Najeeb Badri bin Zubair. So in coming episode, inshallah, Najeeb will host Najeeb. So you we will be, and we hope, we pray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah make it easy for us with this telecommunication issues and challenges. But that was a nice discussion. And Alhamdulillah, Ummah is working, and the way they are working, mashallah, and 1920s, mashallah, one of the like senior most organizations in Muslim Ummah till right now, one of the institutes that they're working, especially in non-Muslim countries. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us his strength, inshallah. And through such type of these discussions which we have started, we can bring whole ummah on one platform, and when we can give some sort of a guidance, which could be a sadaqah jariya for ummah, for this whole these and we can solve sort of these challenges, like for example this Islamic integration, this tarbiyah, teachers development framework. So we can work these frameworks through sharing our experiences via institutions or via on individual levels, inshallah. So don't forget the next expo, the quarter to 9, Friday, 22nd January, that I'm going to host, inshallah, Ustad Dr. Badri Najeeb bin Zubair, lecturer at International Islamic University, Malaysia, since last 28 years. So, Jazakumullah Wasan al Jaza. We really apologize that we missed some sort of very valuable discussions. Sometimes we miss connections, inshallah. And we hope from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, that next time program will be smooth, inshallah. Jazakumullahu ahsan al jaza. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.